Once upon a time, in a small African town known for its bustling markets and loud drumming festivals, lived a boy named Chike. He was full of laughter, full of energy, and full of pride. But above all, Chike cared about one thing more than food, more than school, even more than his mother's warnings: his hair. Chike loved to look good. Every week, he wanted his hair trimmed in the latest style. If the other boys shaved their heads clean, he would leave his longer. If they made neat patterns, he would make his even sharper. His friends often teased him. "Chike, your head will soon catch fire with all these designs." But Chike only smiled. "Let me shine, my people. When I enter the market, even the girls must turn their heads." Now, his father, Okonkwo, was a careful man. He always said, "Not every saloon is safe. Some men carry dirty blades that bring sickness. Others are not even real barbers, just tricksters waiting to harm foolish children." But Chike never listened. Whenever he saw a new saloon with a painted signboard and music playing from a small speaker, he would rush in. He didn't care if the chair was broken, if the clipper sparked, or if the barber looked suspicious. All that mattered to him was style. One Saturday morning, as the sun rose high and the smell of fried plantain filled the streets, Chike's friends came to call him. "Chike, there's a new saloon at the edge of town. They say the man cuts styles no one else can do. Let's go." Chike's eyes lit up. Without even asking his parents, he grabbed a few coins from the small box where his father kept change for the market and ran off with his friends. The saloon was nothing like the clean places his father trusted. It was small, with crooked wooden walls and a roof patched with rusty zinc. The signboard outside read, "Master Styles, any design, any head." Loud music boomed from a cracked speaker. Inside, the air was hot and smelled of sweat and strange herbs. The chairs were old, the mirrors cracked, and the tools scattered everywhere. But the barber himself, a tall man with a scar across his cheek, grinned widely when he saw the boys. New customers. Come, sit. You will leave here shining like princes." Chike's friends hesitated. Something about the man felt wrong. But Chike jumped onto the chair proudly. "Cut me first. Give me something nobody in this town has ever seen." The barber chuckled, pulling out a long, sharp blade that caught the dim light. "Don't worry, young man. You will be different indeed." The other boys exchanged nervous glances, but Chike only closed his eyes, smiling, imagining himself walking through the market with girls whispering behind him. At first, everything seemed normal. The barber brushed his hair, shaved the sides neatly, and began carving a design at the back. But soon, Chike felt the blade pressing too close, scratching his skin. "Oh, uncle, you are cutting me," he cried. The barber's grin widened. "Be patient. Beauty is pain." But the scratching grew sharper. Warm liquid ran down Chike's neck. He touched it with his fingers, blood. His heart began to pound. "Stop. I don't want this haircut anymore." The barber's grip tightened on his head. "You cannot leave now. Not until I finish." The other boys shouted, "Chike, get up. Leave," but the barber pushed him down hard. The dim lantern flickered. For a moment, Chike thought he saw the man's eyes glow red, like hot coal. His scar seemed to stretch wider across his face. Fear washed over Chike like cold water. This was no ordinary barber. Villagers passing outside heard the noise and crowded into the small saloon. Gas filled the room as they saw Chike pinned in the chair, blood running from his scalp, and the barber raising the blade again. Someone cried, "This man is not a barber. He is a ritualist." Panic spread. People pushed forward, shouting, "Stop him. Save the boy." But fear also kept many from getting too close. Chike struggled with all his strength, but the barber was too strong. His friends tried to pull him free, but the man shoved them aside easily. And just as the blade was about to strike again, a deep, thunderous voice filled the room. "Leave him." Everyone froze. Heads turned toward the doorway. There stood Okonkwo, Chike's father, his frame broad, his eyes blazing with fire, and in his hand, the staff of his ancestors. The Baba's grin faltered. Chike's tears spilled freely as relief washed over him. But the danger was not over. Because the Baba slowly turned his head, eyes narrowing, blade still in his hand. The crowd held its breath. Was Okonkwo strong enough to save his son? The Baba's grin twisted into something darker, something inhuman. His teeth looked too sharp, and his scar seemed to pulse like it was alive. The crowd stepped back, murmuring prayers under their breath. Some even ran out of the saloon, too afraid to stay. But Okonkwo stood firm. His voice thundered again, "Release my son now." The Baba laughed, the sound echoing unnaturally around the small room. "Your son came to me willingly. He wanted to shine. He wanted a style no one else could have. I only gave him what he asked for." Okonkwo gripped his staff tightly, his eyes never leaving the man's glowing red eyes. "You are no Baba. You are a predator. And today, your evil ends." The Baba pressed the blade against Chike's neck. The boy froze, his breath shallow. "One more step, old man," the Baba hissed, "and the boy's blood will flow." The villagers gasped, covering their mouths. Mothers clutched their children, pulling them close. Chike's friends trembled in the corner, too terrified to move. Okonkwo's voice softened, steady as the river. "Chike, my son, do not fear. I told you not every saloon is safe. Now you see why. But remember this, evil only wins when the righteous run away. And I will not run." With that, he struck the floor with his staff. A loud crack echoed, and the lanterns flickered violently as though a storm had entered the room. The Baba staggered for a moment, his grip loosening just enough for Chike to wriggle free. "Run, my son," Okonkwo shouted. Chike leapt from the chair, stumbling toward the crowd. His friends grabbed him, pulling him into safety. Blood trickled from his scalp, but he was alive. The Baba roared, spinning toward Okonkwo with blade raised high. But Okonkwo was ready. He lifted his staff and blocked the strike with a loud clang. Sparks flew. The villagers cried out in awe. This was no ordinary fight. "Who are you really?" Okonkwo demanded, pushing the Baba back. The Baba's face twisted, the human mask peeling away. Before everyone's eyes, his skin darkened like ash, his nails grew into claws, and his eyes glowed like burning charcoal. The crowd screamed. "He's not a man. He's a spirit," someone cried. The spirit laughed, the sound chilling bones. "Foolish mortals. I have taken many souls with this blade. Every boy who sits in my chair becomes mine. And now, I will take yours." He lunged at Okonkwo. But Okonkwo slammed his staff on the ground again, shouting words his father had taught him long ago. The floor shook. The air grew heavy. From the cracks in the earth rose a strange light, wrapping around the staff. The spirit screeched, shielding its face from the glow. The villagers began to chant prayers, their voices growing louder. Women cried out to the gods of the land, and the drummers who had been passing outside struck their drums in rhythm, as if the ancestors themselves were answering the call. Chike, trembling and bleeding, clung to his friends, whispering, "Papa, please win." Okonkwo raised the glowing staff high. "By the spirits of our fathers, by the blood of our people, leave this land and never return." He brought the staff down with a force so great that the mirrors shattered, the chairs split, and the zinc roof rattled like thunder. The spirit shrieked, its form shaking and breaking apart into smoke. It tried to escape through the roof, but the light of the staff bound it, dragging it screaming into the earth until only silence remained. The Baba's chair lay empty. The blade clattered harmlessly to the ground. The villagers erupted in cheers. Some fell to their knees, praising Okonkwo. Others rushed to hug their children, thankful that evil had been defeated. But Okonkwo turned, his face stern. He walked to Chike, who was still shaking. Gently, he placed a hand on his son's shoulder. My child, now you see. Not every saloon is safe. Some carry sickness, others carry evil itself. When I warned you, it was not to stop your joy, it was to save your life. Chike's tears flowed freely. I am sorry, Papa. I should have listened. I thought I knew better, but I almost lost everything. Okonkwo pulled him close, his voice low but firm. Remember this night. Pride can blind you, but wisdom will save you. From today, you must never walk into any place without knowing who stands behind it. The villagers carried Chike home, praising Okonkwo for his bravery. The cursed saloon was abandoned that night, its roof blown off by the storm that rose after the battle. None dared to enter again. It became a warning, a shadowed place mothers pointed to when teaching their children. And from that day, every time Chike saw a shiny new signboard for a saloon, he remembered the blood, the blade, and the spirit's terrible grin. He would smile faintly and say, not every barber is your friend. Choose wisely, or you may choose death.